What's up, you guys? All right, well, I got a bailout. I'm up $20,000 today, and it was not expected. So, wow, that really turns my month around. Thank goodness. So here's the cool thing. The trades that I took today that we're gonna break down during the recap, straight off the watch list, TWMC, all right? Straight off the watch list. And the strategy for my entry was straight out of Chapter 6 and Chapter 7 of the Warrior Pro course on trading stocks gapping up. TWMC, it was gapping up over 120%, all right? So the bell rings, I jump in for the break of the pre-market high, I ride that momentum. It squeezes from 550 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, all the way up to $9.75 before it finally pulls back. It dips down below VWAP and then does another setup on a breakthrough VWAP. I made over $23,000 on that one stock. The other three stocks I traded, I ended up being red on, and I cut the losses really quickly and said, you know what, I'm gonna walk away here with $20,000 in my pocket, and I'm not gonna push my luck anymore. So today was just, it was a gift from the market. It's not every day that you get a stock on a gap and go setup that moves up that much. Our goal, trading gap and go stocks, is to find stocks that have the potential to squeeze up another 20 to 30% from the open. Well, this went up almost 100% from the open, so it far exceeded sort of the expectation, but I'm not going to complain about that. I'm really happy. It was a nice big win, and it was exactly what I needed. Now, as you guys know, I had a big red day earlier this week, and so that red day, it was me being too aggressive on the wrong setup, took a big loss, but today it's a bailout, gets me back up, into the green on the week, very green on the week, which is terrific. It's just exactly what I needed. So I hope you guys enjoy this recap. Give me the thumbs up for the big green day today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and check out the link that's going to be right down here if you want to get into our Warrior Pro classes. You want to learn this strategy side by side with me? Get started today. All right, you guys, there's no reason you couldn't have taken this trade side by side with me or even gotten in before me, because it was on the watch list and we were breaking it down at 9:15 a.m. The bell didn't ring till 9:30. All right, so I hope you guys had a good day today, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning for Friday, Wildcard Friday. All right, everyone, so trades from today, traded 4 stocks, green on 1 out of the 4. And that one big winner is TWMC, over $23,000 of profit on it, and I just gave back about $1,500 on my last trade, which I took long at 67 here, and then added at 8. The high was 810, and then it flushed down here to 715. So it popped back up, and I was able to get out, but unfortunately I gave back some profit on that last trade. I was looking at it as it broke through the VWAP for possibly a move back up to 825, 850, and then a squeeze to the high a day, but it didn't end up doing that. So today, honestly, today's a bailout for me from what has been a really difficult month. I've had a few great trades, but I've also had a few terrible trades, and I was well into the red on the month coming into today. So, and I stopped looking at how red I was on the month, because I was like, you know what? Knowing isn't going to help me. What is it going to do for me? If I see I'm down 15,000 on the month, or I'm down 20,000 on the month, what is that going to do for me? It's just going to put this number in my head that I need to get that amount back in order to be flat on the month. It's going to mess with me. So I was like, you know what? Just stop looking at it. Months are, they're just arbitrary periods of time. And if you're green on a 4-week period of time and it happens to be from the beginning to the end of a month, you're green on the month. If you're green from a 4-week time that begins the middle of a month and carries into the next month, then you're green on that 4-week period of time. It just doesn't make sense to fixate so much on these kind of short windows of time that don't necessarily reflect your kind of long-term consistency, which for me has been really solid. So I stopped looking at where I was at in the month. I also had a six-hour plane ride yesterday to think about the way I've been trading this month. And, I kind of came to this conclusion, obviously, that I've been fairly aggressive. I'm going to open up my TD Ameritrade account here. And I think I've been aggressive partially because I've been trying to get myself a really good jump start on the year. Obviously, that feels good. It's like getting your homework done early and then you kind of rush through it. And I always did that. That was something that I always did because it feels good to have it done. It may not be done perfectly, but it's done. And with the daily goal or the monthly goal or even the yearly goal, it feels good to get it done as quick as you can. And I actually never hit my yearly goal for 2019. My goal was 500 grand, and I made only, I say only, very, very, with a little bit of a, I don't seriously think it's only, but $367,000. And those statements right now are being examined by the independent CPA that did my $583 to $1 million challenge. So once those audited, examined statements are done, they'll have a report which will show my 2019 total gains. And at that time, I'll do my 2019 year in review when I have those audited statements. So anyways, I think, for sure this month I've been pretty aggressive. I've been trading a little in the afternoons. I've been, pushing my luck a little bit and trading in multiple accounts, which, sort of scatters my attention, and all of that can be really a recipe for disaster when the market starts to get a little choppy and you need to be quick to pivot. So I told myself, I did two things. Number one, I called Rob over at Lightspeed and I said, hey Rob, on my main account, can you set my share size, my maximum share size at 100 shares? And so what that means is if I press Shift 1, right now, let's see, I press Shift 1, my order is just going to get denied because my order is for 1,000 shares. So it's just going to deny that order. Now, if I place an order here for 99 shares down at, this down here, that order will go through. But basically what that is going to prevent me from doing is taking any trades in my main account while I focus right now on the IRA. It's sometimes important for me to add those restrictions that I'm not in control of just to prevent me from getting overzealous and just saying, screw it, I'm trading in the other account. I hit my max loss in the IRA, I'm switching to the main account. I don't want to do that. So anyways, my focus here today was that I would trade the TD Ameritrade account, but not in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the day, because some people have mentioned that TD Ameritrade can be a little glitchy in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the day. And I was like, I don't want to risk, missing a trade, then feeling FOMO and frustration. So I'm just going to focus on my regular trading account, my retirement account, for the first 5 minutes of the day, and then I'll switch and focus on TD. Ended up not trading in the TD account today, which is fine. Some days will be that way. So no trades over there. It sits at $3,200, up about 20% or so since I started the challenge. But I did trade in the main account, and TWMC was the first stock I traded. It currently has about 5 million shares of volume. We were watching it pre-market. It was on our watch list that I shared with you guys at about 9:15 a.m. It was gapping up 126%. 126% pre-market. That is a really big gap. The leading gapper was CODX, gapping up 138% on 3.7 million shares of volume. So both of these two stocks were on my watch list this morning. TWMC, I was watching over the pre-market high. So this is straight out of Chapter 6 and Chapter 7 of the Warrior Pro course, the break of pre-market high. All right, now the break of pre-market high is up there at 575, but I thought this looked like a little bit of a pre-market pivot down here at about 550. The bell rings, and it actually opened a little lower. It opened down here at 477, and as it started to surge up, as soon as I saw green on the level 2, I started pressing the buy button to get in for the break of 5. So I jumped in as it started to squeeze up, and this thing, it rips through the pre-market high of 550, straight up to $6.66. Then it goes to $7.60. Then it goes to $8.60, and it hits a high of $9.72. Are you kidding me? From 5 to $6 to $7 to $8 to $9 a share. So yeah, I made $20,000 on this stock. I mean, this thing ripped $5 a share. I didn't even need to take big size for that to happen, for that win to happen, right? Unfortunately, you can't predict these. This ends up being kind of my bailout for the month. The market bailed me out, thank goodness, and I'm grateful for that. But you can't depend on this every single day. This is these happen every now and then. It certainly happened on NNVC on Tuesday, and remember, I missed this entire trade. Now this wasn't nearly as no, that's not it. NNVC was not well. I guess it was. Let's just refer to the chart. So NNVC squeezes up on 5 circuit breaker halts. Now, the momentum didn't start on this one until about 9:45, and it wasn't on the watch list, it wasn't a gapper, and it didn't have news. So that threw me off, and I didn't end up jumping into it going into the first halt or coming out of the second because I thought the volume is so light, I don't know if I can trust it. Well, it ends up, as you can see here, going from 450, 550, 650, 750, all the way here to a high of 748. It then pulls back and then curls and ends up ripping all the way back up to $13, which was crazy. So a lot of strength there on NNVC, which is certainly nice to see, and I totally missed it. I felt so much FOMO. I felt so frustrated. So today on TWMC, I wasn't compensating for FOMO. I really was very focused just on I'm going to trade in my IRA account. I'm going to take a quick trade at the break of the pre-market high, and I'm going to take my profit off the table, and I'm not going to overstay my welcome. But as it turns out, as soon as I got in, it rips up from $50 to $6, $5.50 to $6 to $6.50, and it's like, okay, now I'm in the driver's seat. Now all I have to do is hold it and let it ride. And it's so that ended up being a easy trade, a base hit setup that turned into a home run, and every now and then you get those, and this happened to be a time that I really needed it. But of course, I also had some trades earlier this week that were pretty bad. So today, after this pullback, I started kind of thinking, okay, well, what's the next one that's going to show strength? And then I remind myself, on Tuesday, I bought the next one that showed strength, and I lost $12,000 on it. The next one that showed strength squeezed up, got halted, then came all the way down, and I got smoked. So then I started thinking, maybe be a little careful. And so on trade 2 NNVC, ended up going red on it. I didn't get killed on it, but I went red. I took 2 trades on NNVC. My first trade was on this 1 minute pullback right here, and I lost $1,200. And then it curls back up, and I got back in right here, and I made back 600 with smaller share size. Okay. Jan hits the high day momentum scanners. I jumped into it, ended up being a false breakout. Should have left it alone, but I saw news. I saw a decent daily chart history of former runner. I jumped in for the break of 4. It hit 410 and then flushed back down, stopped out down here. All right, so I took my loss on that one. And the last one was KLDO. That was my biggest loss of the day. On this one, it was kind of a silly trade, but I had seen it on the scanners earlier. It was a gapper, pulled back, squeezed up right here. I almost jumped into it, but left it alone. And then as it curled up right here, and then it does this pullback right through here, I'm long, and then I stopped out as it flushed down here, which doesn't look like a big stop, but it actually was a good 30-cent drop. So, that's, again, maybe poor choice, and maybe I would be better off if I had not taken those, but it's okay for me to give back $3,000 when I'm up, 23 grand for the potential that if we continue to see momentum, that I'll be able to, I'll be able to continue to kind of ride that momentum and turn a $23,000 day into 25, 27, 28, 30, etc. So, yeah, so that's where I'm going to sit here. And, back to TWMC. This one, broke through the VWAP, flushed down right here, dropped down, came back up through the VWAP. I got back in it right here for the break over the VWAP. And then it broke, but it didn't hold that level and it came back down. So it's starting to get a little choppy. And I don't want to overstay my welcome on it. But, this is a much needed green day. I'm not sure where it's going to put me on the month. And, again, it's not, for me at this point, really worth looking at because it doesn't change. What does that change? If I see that this put me flat on the month instead of green, am I going to feel a little annoyed? Probably, right? I'll be like, man, that awesome win, and all it does is bail me out of those stupid losses that I had earlier in the month. That's really disappointing. If it puts me up 5,000 on the month, then what do? I think, well, I'm still 15, 20,000 from my goal, so I've got to have another day like this. Yeah, I just don't need to do that. And this is kind of the thing that we all do. We all keep this, we all have this internal kind of meter or accounting of where we stand in our P&L on the day, on the week, on the month, on the year, on our career, and it can sometimes create emotional baggage around your trades to the point where you're trading based on that number, not based on the market you're in. You're trading because, oh man, I've got to get back this amount. I've got to hit this amount this month, because if I don't, what does that mean? It means my record is tarnished, or it means I'm not hitting what I said I needed to hit in order to continue this career. Whatever it is, it just carries this emotional baggage. And I want to try to separate myself from that as much as possible, knowing that that's easier said than done, considering every single day I come in here, at the end of the day, I have a number sitting right in front of me of what I made or lost. But something I stopped doing in November of this past year, was I stopped keeping a calendar on my desk of all of the days filled out. And I'm not saying that it's not helpful to spend some time, periodically going into your metrics, whether it's in the sim or you're trading with real money, and to look back at your stats. It's very important to do that. But I don't think it's helpful to do that on, let's say, like a day-to-day basis, or every single morning where you sit down, you're looking at that calendar and asking, saying, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? So I'll just show you, for example, here. If I go into my stats here, these are my trader view stats. So if I go in here, I can see my daily P&L. Okay, that's fine. I can pull up the calendar, and then I can look into it, and see, oh, this is what the calendar looks like, right? And so when you have this and it's sitting in front of you every single day, for me, it starts to become a little obsessive, and I start to fixate on it, and it's not helpful. It doesn't help you trade the market you're in. So for me right now, separating that, putting that to the side, trading today for what it is, it's so easy for me to just kind of put yesterday out of my mind. How much did I make yesterday? How much did I make last Wednesday? I have no idea. How much did I make last Friday? I don't even remember. It's that fast to go. So I'm just going to let it go. Rather than try to keep that reminder right in front of me, I'm just going to let it go. And I'm going to know that obviously I'm at a point where I don't need to look at my account balance every single day to make sure I'm not below the PDT rule. I'm able to kind of know that I've got a little bit of a cushion there, obviously, especially after days like today. But I understand if your account is in a place where you're like, I can't not look at it because I need to make sure I have enough buying power. I need to make sure I'm not going to blow up my account. And again, I think you have to acknowledge that when you look at that, it can add a little bit of stress, a little bit of baggage. That can all make you more inclined to make impulsive, emotionally fueled decisions. And that your ability to maintain discipline and composure is not an unlimited resource. It's very finite. My ability to maintain composure, when I come in every day, it's like, an iPhone battery. And on some days I come in half charged because I didn't, in the sense that I've already depleted half of my resources, because I didn't get enough sleep last night. I was rushed this morning. Something came up this morning that took some of my resources, like, dealing with, I don't know, the dog throwing up on the carpet and having to clean it, or, it's just something stupid. And, it gets you frustrated. And then, your decision fatigue, exactly. So you get to the point where you're coming into the bell and what's typically a full tank of reserves is only a half tank. And once that tank's gone, that's when you start to get in that place of decision fatigue. You're much more apt to just go ahead and make those impulsive decisions, and it can get you into trouble. You've watch my recaps. You guys know how bad it can be. So I think giving yourself that permission that, it's okay if I can only trade for 30 minutes today. I'm at a place in my account where every day is high pressure. Every trade requires a tremendous amount of emotional focus, and I can't trade for 6 hours under that type of pressure. I can do it for 30 minutes. I can do it for 20 minutes. And if you can trade from 9:30 until 10 o'clock, you're doing fine. And I see every day in the chat room, we have half the number of people in the chat room right now that we had this morning. And that's 90 minutes after the bell. So a lot of you guys are, taking the cue and hitting the road even before I do my recap. I think it was by 10:30 we'd already lost like 25 or 30% of the people that would have been in at the very beginning. So a lot of people take that approach of, I'm going to jump in, it's a hit and run type of market, I'm going to grab my profit and I'm going to hit the road. I'm not going to overstay my welcome. TWMC, you got your goal, you got maybe a little more than you expected, take it, be grateful, come back tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow you're going to get a little less than you expect. Don't get frustrated, take it, come back the next day. And that's what we'll keep doing day after day. And that's what makes a career. All right, so that's it for me. Thank goodness for today, a little bit of a rebound, but not a lot of follow through beyond that. So I'll take the 20 grand and be very grateful, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. I'm trading on my traveling trading station. I sat in an airplane for 6 hours yesterday thinking about, my month. So I'm kind of, I'm just gonna try to trade my first 30 minutes, maybe first hour at most, and then hit the road, be done. Tomorrow's Friday, wild card. All right, see you guys in the morning. Hey, did you know that I go live every single morning between 9 and 9:15 to stream my pre-market watch list? Subscribe to the channel, press the bell for the alert, and you'll get the notification.